Welcome to Time Well Spent, a podcast from LaborSync, the only real-time, multilingual timesheet software your business will ever need. So, imagine paying a private detective like $50 an hour just to figure out where your crew actually was on Tuesday.
Yeah, that sounds completely absurd.
Right, but, I mean, if you are still relying on paper timesheets or, manual entry, you are basically already doing exactly this. Today, on Time Well Spent, we are taking a deep dive into that golden rule from the trades: measure twice, cut once, and why it is disastrously ignored when it comes to business operations.
It really is absolute gospel on the job site, but yeah, in the office, not so much.
Exactly. So we have been analyzing a recent LaborSync blog article to give you some actionable solutions to some of the most common margin-killing challenges of scaling a business.
Well, to fix that operational bleed, we first have to identify exactly where your business is, losing time. And it really starts with the hidden tax of manual time tracking.
Right, the manual entry stuff.
Yeah. I mean, think about a crew member writing 8:00 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on a lunch bag, or like a scrap of paper at the end of the week. They aren't tracking at that point. They are just guessing.
Okay, let's unpack this because paying for 5 or 10 minutes of rounded time here and there doesn't immediately sound like a business killer.
Right.
I mean, for a lot of owners, it just sounds like, the acceptable cost of doing business.
I hear that a lot, but that rounded time definitely causes margin erosion over a year. But the real tax, the really big one, is the opportunity cost.
You mean like paying for work twice?
Exactly. You pay the crew for their time, and then you pay your office manager for the hours they spend verifying it. Like, they are calling the foreman, trying to decipher handwriting and asking things like, was Dave actually at the Smith job on Tuesday or the Jones site?
Oh, wow. Yeah, so instead of optimizing routes or bidding on new projects, your best people are acting as human calculators.
Right, and it's a huge waste of their talent.
It's exactly like that detective analogy from the blog article. If you spend all day fixing hours, you aren't running a business anymore. You're running a detective agency.
Definitely.
And let's be honest, you definitely aren't getting the Sherlock Holmes rate for it. You're paying senior admin salaries for, amateur investigative work.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
And it all culminates in that dreaded 3:00 p.m. Friday headache.
Oh, everyone knows that headache.
Yeah, it is that frantic rush where your team is just chasing down voicemails and texting supervisors just to finalize payroll before the crew heads home for the weekend. You're just completely stuck in correction mode.
Right. Well, here's where it gets really interesting. Wouldn't it be easier for you to just wait until you have 50 employees and more cash flow to buy a real system to handle it?
What's fascinating here is that waiting is the ultimate growth trap. Scaling without control is really just a much faster way to lose money.
Because the problems just multiply.
Exactly. If your administrative headaches grow at the exact same rate as your revenue, you aren't actually more profitable. You are just carrying way more risk, and you are, frankly, way more stressed out.
So throwing software at it later on doesn't automatically solve the problem.
Not if the underlying process is broken. I mean, when you try to layer software over a chaotic manual process later on, it doesn't fix the chaos, it just exposes it.
It just highlights the mess you already have.
Right, you end up automating a broken system.
Yeah.
Which means you just generate bad data at lightning speed. It goes from being messy to being, efficiently disastrous.
It's efficiently disastrous. Wow. And because human error fractures trust so deeply, the fallout of that efficient disaster isn't just financial, right? It is cultural.
Oh, absolutely. Rework kills morale across the board. When the process is messy, the office staff starts to feel like babysitters constantly nagging the field for information.
Yeah, and the field workers probably feel micromanaged because their hours are always being questioned.
Exactly. And worst of all, when a manual entry error inevitably results in a wrong paycheck, it makes the entire company look completely incompetent.
So what does this all mean? How do we fix it? Because reading the LaborSync blog article, I started to think about your business data like pouring a concrete foundation.
That is a great way to look at it.
Right. If your time tracking data is sandy, then everything built on top of it will just wobble.
That is the perfect way to visualize it. And, how does that wobble show up in real life? It shows up in your job costing.
Oh, right. Because you don't actually know what you spent.
Exactly. If the foundation is sandy, you might underbid your next 3 projects because your data didn't show you how much labor time the current project actually consumed.
Wow, yeah, that's dangerous.
It is. Your payroll is wrong, your margins are completely distorted, and your growth projections are essentially just a fantasy.
So you need to catch it early.
Yet the actionable solution here is to standardize early. You have to make zero exceptions, and you remove human error entirely by implementing an automated field tool from day one. You have to capture the data accurately the exact moment it happens.
Because a fractured foundation forces us to look at where else human memory is failing us, right?
Yeah, and since the article proves humans are objectively terrible at repetitive data entry, it leaves you wondering, what other areas of your business are you relying on manual human memory for right now that could be automated today?
That is a fantastic question to leave you with. This episode of Time Well Spent was brought to you by LaborSync. Track employee hours and job site locations in real time from any device. Start your risk-free trial today at laborsync.com.